Greetings, Miskatonic Repository. Keeper Heinrich Moore here. Last time we talked about how my attempts at outlining went awry when I couldn't decide between two different design paths to take. So, today, I want to bring you a tale of two cities. A tale of two Carcosas. Two alternate versions that might realize the project I'm working on. But, just like sanity and a Call of Cthulhu investigator, just can't coexist. Why couldn't I choose between them? Well, let me tell you about them. The first Carcosa would be a solo scenario focused on one of three characters: Alice, Benjamin, and Cassidy. You could play through the game with each of them repeatedly. Each playthrough would tell you more about the person you were playing, sure, but it would also change them. Not only that, but each playthrough would also change the other investigators you had chosen not to play. Over time, there would become apparent a broader story connecting each of these characters to one another. It would feel very much like Silent Hill if you were playing the first three games simultaneously. But as much as I've come to love the Alice, Benjamin, and Cassidys in my imagination, I don't know how their story is a story of Carcosa. The name of the project, after all, is Heinrich's Guide to Carcosa. A story of three characters living through their own personal hells might be compelling, but now we're just creating a solo adventure. So let's move on to the other Carcosa, the version of the project focused on the city itself. If you've given Heinrich's Guide to Character Creation a try, then a lot of what I have in mind will sound familiar. Lots of randomized tables, each of which expands on what is in Carcosa, what you might find, and what might find you. You would create your own personal nightmare dimension. But then what? With the character creation guide, you have an investigator. You can take them into a campaign. Their story can evolve further. Would anyone need a book that just creates your own personal Carcosa? To what? Have in your back pocket to maybe use in a campaign? And anyway, would a randomized dungeon really have the personal touch that makes Carcosa so meaningful in all of our imaginations? Weighing the two versions, both did things I wanted. Both arguably satisfied my thesis statement. See episode 1. And of course, either or both could be terrible ideas that just wouldn't work, no matter how much effort and time, blood, sweat, tears, all of that I put into it. I could have doubled down on one version and rolled the dice, hoped that something positive came out of it. I could have spent a few more weeks thinking about it. I could have talked with other keepers, or done any number of other things. Those might all work. But I decided I needed reinforcements. I needed a trusted someone to experience what I had created so far, and help me figure out whether it was worth pursuing further. I was inspired to do this by my friend Evan Pullman. He's the man responsible for organizing projects like Hometown Horrors, available on DriveThruRPG's Miskatonic Repository. A few weeks ago, he had done what he called a table read. This was for one of the scenarios he was writing, and his table read was us playing through his scenario, but not role-playing, just talking out what we would do as the characters, how we might react, and what might be awesome to have happen. It was similar in form to what Chaosium community ambassador Bridget Jeffries might call throwing spaghetti at the wall. Get a bunch of smart, fun and creative people together, share the basic idea for your scenario, and then just start playing. And make stuff up as you go along. Leverage what tabletop RPGs do best. Harness the power of collaborative storytelling to write your scenario for you. That's what I decided I needed. So I called Bridget and Evan, warned them this might get messy, and invited them to what I'm calling a proof of concept. What's a proof of concept? Well, if game designers like Evan do table reads and authors like Bridget throw spaghetti at walls, maybe I do proofs of concept. let me take a miniature version of the thing I'm creating. Let's play around with the rules, see how the players break them, and then think through how we can repair the design into a newer, better, and more interesting project. Very fortunately for me, both Bridget and Evan were game for it. Now, I just needed to get ready for relaxed, low-stress trial run of part of the Carcosa Guide with some of my best friends. All by doing an absolutely absurd amount of work and preparation.